Welcome back to Zuera, Zaragoza in Spain as we look at Flavio Camponeschi, winner of the pre-final, winner of the opening round of the European Championship. We are a few moments away from the KZ final. Cart number 14, the man on screen, just takes a last drink. In these increasingly warm temperatures here in Spain, it's not nearly as hot as it has been in the past, thankfully. Temperature in the mid-20s. In the past, it's been more than 40 degrees here. Marco Ardigo, the man of the moment. The reigning world champion. The current WSK Supermasters Series champion. Look at that. An all-green front row of the grid. We asked the question in the pre-final. We'll ask the same question in the final. Can anybody stop the green machine? Will it be this man, the Frenchman, Anthony Abbas, aboard the Sodi cart? He will start out of grid number 3. Alongside Jordan Lennox-Lamb, the Brit for Birrell Art. He had a brilliant pre-final. Starts the outside of the second row of the grid. This is the highest level of world karting. Professional drivers from around the planet competing here this weekend, including that man, Benjamin Hanley. Once upon a time, he was racing GP2 on the streets of Monaco. Has competed in the highest levels of car racing. Now he's competing in the highest levels of world karting. Professional driver with the new for 2015 Mad Croc team. We look at the Czech driver, Patrick Hayek. He's capable of getting up on the podium here this afternoon. He starts out of grid number 6 in the Praga cart number 8 using the Perilla engine. The driver from the Czech Republic in the cart from the Czech Republic. Mirko Torsalini, the Ricciardo cart on screen. He had a brilliant pre-final. Came from grid 21 to finish in 8th. We'll start the outside of row number 4. Of course, the Ricciardo kart team, new for 2015. That's who the reigning Euro champ drives for. Reason. We'll get to him in a few moments. There's Andreas Bachmann on screen for the Cosmic Racing Department. His sister Jessica also racing the Euro champs in the KF category. Thomas Tuyula in the second of the MC01 Mad Croc carts. Starting out of grid number 9. So still a few minutes away from a start for this race. David Foray in the centre of your screen. The legendary David Foray is alongside Andrea Della, the reigning European champion in the KZ2 category. David just takes a seat on the back of his cart. The back tyre of his cart, I should say. Of course, there is the man that many regard as one of the greatest kart racing drivers of all time. 4 times world champion, 2 times European champion, 3 times World Cup winner. European champion in Formula A way back in 1994. Jonathan Tonon, another former world champion. He starts back on grid number 13. The Belgian in the Praga kart. Powered by Perilla. Great to see this manufacturer back on the world stage. Yes, it's a Dino kart. The Danish manufacturer, which has been around since the 1980s. Their driver, Henry Koko from Finland, has bolted a TM engine onto that Dino kart and been pretty impressive throughout the weekend. Simo Puhaka, winner of 2 rounds of the WSK Supermaster Series earlier in the year. The driver from Tampere in northern Finland. It's a little bit warmer here in the north of Spain than it is in the north of Finland at the moment. Simo, a lot of work to do. Starts out of grid number 16, the 8th row of the grid. There's Bas Lemmers, 3 times World Cup champion for the Formula K team, the Dutchman. In a kart almost every weekend is Bas. concentrating on taking back that KZ World title. Of course, the KZ World Championship to be held in France this year. The home circuit of this man, Arno Koko Kozlinski, did not finish in the pre-final. He starts way back, the back of the grid, almost the back of the grid, I should say, alongside Rick Dreesen, the reigning Euro champ. There's Rick there. He has not had a good run, and unless he produces something miraculous this afternoon, he can just about kiss his European title defence goodbye here this afternoon. He won the title in 2014 aboard a Zanardi. So we look at the Swede Douglas Lundberg. Also not finishing the pre-final, but he has been quick. He's been knocking on the door of a podium for the last 6 months, but a big job for the Swede to come from the 10th row of the grid. Gary Carlton from California in the United States of America. Back row of the grid, a last-minute shift from Intrepid to Danilo Rossi kart, driving for Gianfranco Vantuzzi's G-Force racing team. Of course, Gianfranco, formerly with the Toro Rosso F1 team, now setting up his G-Force kart racing team. Started the year with Intrepid, and since the last round, they've made the switch to Danilo Rossi kart. But Gary has had 4 engine failures this weekend. Mostly in practice. He had a great heat where he finished, I think, the second heat in about position number 6. He has got speed in that kart. If he can just hold together for this 18-lap final as he attempts to become the first American to stand on the top step of the podium in a European Championship race since Ron White did it in the mid-2000s. We asked the same question before the pre-final. We'll ask the same question. Yes, I know you're saying again, but we have to. Look at the front row of the grid. Like Martians from Mars, they're both painted green. Can anybody stop the green machine? Flavio Camponeschi will start from pole position in the Vortex-powered Tony kart. His teammate, Marco Ardigo, is alongside on the front row of the grid. Jordan Lennox Lamb, he might be one to watch out for. He's on the second row in the immaculate red and white Birrell Art kart. Alongside Anthony Abbas, the TM-powered Sodi kart. Anthony to the left of your screen there. So less than 3 minutes away from the start of this race here in Zuera, Spain. Zaragoza, the beautiful historic city in northern Spain, the 5th largest city in Spain. Better known for its football team, Real Zaragoza, which currently playing in the 2nd division, I believe, of Spanish La Liga. For general sports fans watching us all around the world live on CIKFIA.tv. A beautiful part of the world, despite the fact that we're 15 kilometres north of the city of Zaragoza, in the windswept, wide-open plains of Zuera. It is a beautiful city. If you ever get the chance to travel here, halfway between Barcelona and Real. Barcelona and Madrid. You understood why I made that faux pas there. The city of Zaragoza, just behind those hills in the background, which feature countless wind farms on the top of them. No surprise given that it's always windy here. Almost always. Thankfully, the breeze has died off a little bit. It was chaotic earlier in the week, which did play a little bit of havoc with kart setup. It was a tailwind down this start-finish straight. Engines approaching 15,000 RPM. We know how fast they go in terms of a velocity, almost 100 miles an hour, about 157, 158 Ks an hour. The karts whistle past the main grandstand here. They're actually a little bit quieter than at most tracks because they're going so fast. The speed passes by and is blown away by the wind quite quickly. It's quite noticeable here at Zuera. As we count down to our scheduled start, the second round of the European Championships for 2015. We kicked off the series at the foot of Mount Vesuvius in Naples, Italy. It will conclude in Genk, Belgium on July 12. If you are anywhere in Northern Europe, pencil that in your diary in about 6 or 7 weeks' time for the championship finale. But before we get to that, we've got 18 laps, the second round of the Euro Champs. Marco Ardigo, number 3, crosses himself, visor down, ready to go into battle. It's these 125cc road racing rocket ships firing to life. They work the steering wheel to get some heat into those Bridgestone tyres. We look at the grid. Flavio Camponeschi and Marco Ardigo, as we said, make it an all-green front row of the grid. Then it's Abbas, Lennox Lamb, Ben Henley, Patrick Hayek, Jorrit Pex, Mirko Torsellini, Thomas Tuyula, and Andreas Bachmann. Then we go to Andrea Dalle, David Fore, Jonathan Tonon, Henry Coco. Look at the names in the back part of the grid. The former world champion Bas Lammers, Simo Puhaka, the 2009 KF world champion Arno Kozlinski, the reigning Euro champ Rek Dresen. On the final row of the grid, Douglas Lundberg, and all the way from the USA, Gary Carlton, the final spot on the grid. The field now under the control of the pole sitter, Flavio Camponeschi. If they're going to beat this boy, they're going to have to do it off the start. He is absolutely electric when the 4 red lights go out. Usually we have 2 formation laps, but such is the distance of this Zuera circuit that they're coming around the final corner now to form up. There's Jordan Lennox Lamb, the driver from the United Kingdom, formerly with CRG, made the switch to Birrell Art for 2015. No problem putting temperature into those Bridgestone tyres. That's been achieved well and truly by Flavio Camponeschi. One more practice start before he pulls over to his right, your left of screen. Right now, Marco Ardigo, he's ready to go racing, as is the Brit behind him, Jordan Lennox Lamb. This is going to be brilliant. We only have a 3-round series. Camponeschi won the first round in Naples. He sits on pole for the second round here in Zuera. We are moments away for the start. The second round, the European Championships for the KZ class. Watch for the start from Flavio Camponeschi. The green flag goes up at the back of the grid. 18 laps the distance, the second round of the Euro Champs. We are racing, and once again, Flavio Camponeschi rockets off the line. What a start by the Tony Kart pilot. He will lead his teammate Marco Ardigo down into turn number 2. Right about now is when these drivers behind are going to have to make their move. Otherwise, the green team will walk away with it. Yes, I know we've only had 3 corners, but such has been their dominance. Flavio Camponeschi is your race leader for Marco Ardigo, Jordan Lennox Lamb, and then Jordan's countryman, the Englishman, Ben Henley, up into position number 4. Patrick Hayek is 5th from Mirko Torsellini, who's made a great start in the Ricciardo kart. The Italian is in position number 6. Ardigo already starting to catch his teammate, Camponeschi. Jordan Lennox Lamb desperately trying to work that wheel to stay in touch with the 2 Italian drivers. In fact, we've got 2 Italians leading 2 Englishmen. Ben Henley on screen in the Mad Croc. Ardigo up the inside. He's got the run on his teammate. Marco Ardigo is your race leader. Marco Ardigo has to defend. Camponeschi had a look into turn 2, but that's cost him time. He's now going to come under attack surely from Jordan Lennox Lamb. Hard on the brakes is the Englishman. Patrick Hayek's getting involved in this battle as well. It is now Ardigol from Camponeschi, Lennox Lamb, Hanley, Patrick Hayek, and Mirko Torsellini. Ardigol, after making that move on his teammate, has already pulled out about a 4-kart length break. This is the second lap of 18. Anthony Abbas, after starting from grid number 3, has dropped all the way back to 8th. The Soddy Kart Challenge just got a lot harder. Arno Kozlinski's made a great start. He's knocking on the door of the top 10. After that pre-final DNF across the line for the second time, it is Marco Ardigol. Flavio Camponeschi, Jordan Lennox Lamb. Down into turn 2. Look at Ben Henley lock up that MC01 under brakes. Kart number 9 on screen. Jordan Lennox Lamb though. Oh, a big move on the inside as we were watching Jordan. Patrick Hayek has gone through on Henley. We wondered if the Birrell Art Kart, I should say, could beat the green team. Jordan's looking pretty good. Ben Henley in the Mad Croc on the podium in the first round. He tries to take back that position from Patrick Hayek. But what about the challenge from the Praga team? Patrick Hayek now up into 4th. Jordan Lennox Lamb, he's not letting the green karts get away. Have we finally found someone who can challenge the all-dominant Tony Kart racing team? Anthony Abbas on the back of Mirko Torsellini. The Frenchman is in the slipstream. Jorit Pex in the Intrepid right behind Abbas. Bas Lammers goes through. Bachmann, Woonberg, the 2 Cosmic Kart drivers. Incredibly, the reigning Euro champ, Rek Dreisen, is at the back of the field. You just saw a glimpse of David Foray going through. He's made up 3 places. He's now in the top 10. He's had a wretched run mechanically so far this weekend. Of course, David, don't discount him. He won the Margutti Trophy earlier in the year. He's on the tail of the Intrepid driver, Jorit Pex, as we look at Abbas make a move on Patrick Hayek. Mirko Torsellini's lost out in that battle also. Henley is starting to lose pace with his countryman Jordan Lennox Lamb, who's driving the wheels off that Birrell Art Kart. He's only 0.2 of a second behind Camponeschi. There goes Hanley, Abbas, Hayek, Torsellini, Pex, Foray, Lammers, Kozlinski, Andrea Dale, the reigning Euro KZ2 champ, as we look at the red and white number 5 Birrell Art of Jordan Lennox Lamb. Camponeschi just trails his team leader. He's desperate to take that world title off his teammate. Of course, Marco won the world title in Sarno, September 2014. Flavio finished 2nd. The opening round of the Euro Series for 2015, it was the driver from Rome, yes, Flavio, who won. He won the pre-final earlier today. You saw him rocket off the line, but Marco had a fantastic opening lap. The number 3, Tony Kart, the driver from Brescia in northern Italy, is your race leader. Jordan Lennox Lamb desperately trying to keep touch. If he can just get a little bit closer, he will get the benefit of the slipstream on this main straight right here. Ardigol looks behind him. Hey, Marco, Flavio's gone nowhere. He's right on your rear tails. They come down, braking into turn 2. Jordan actually chokes the airbox going into turn 2 under braking, just to get a little bit more fuel flowing into that Perilla engine. Looks behind him. Jordan's managed to put a pretty handy gap of about half a second on his countryman Benjamin Hanley. Oh, Jordan Lennox Lamb's got a problem. Jordan's got a problem. He's dropped way back. He's still circulating. I'm not quite sure what happened there because he's back up to speed. Now he's fighting with Ben Henley. They touch. What on earth has happened to Jordan Lennox Lamb? He was in 3rd, counting down the corners to make his move on Flavio Camponeschi. But he was slow out of one of those corners. It looked as though the engine just died. He's back up to speed and now he heads a freight train from 2nd all the way back to 17th position. Look at this, Tony Kart 1 and 2 again. Marco leads from Flavio. Then it's Lennox Lamb. Abbas now into position number 4. Had a look at Lennox Lamb that time. Ben Henley's gone back into 6th. Make that 5th because he's just gone through on Patrick Hayek, the Czech driver in the Praga kart. Ben Henley back up into position 5. There's the gap from your leaders. Flavio not letting Marco go anywhere. Flavio, winner of the opening round of the European Championships in Naples. Flavio also won the Winter Cup at Garda earlier in this year. But hey, Marco won the World Championship last year. The driver from Brescia leads the driver from Rome. Marco Ardiol looks behind him. Flavio is still right behind him. 0.162 of a second. Fastest lap of the race that time round for the Frenchman, Anthony Abbas. He had to think about making a move on Jordan Lennox Lamb. Well, a few moments before Jordan slowed, we saw him choke that engine. Whether that had anything to do with it, Jordan's far too experienced to make any sort of silly mistakes. He doesn't. He's one of the world's top racing drivers. It doesn't look like a gearbox problem. It's got us mystified. He's got back up to speed. He still holds 3rd place. He's on the bottom step of the podium. But behind him is Anthony Abbas, Ben Henley, Patrick Hayek, Jory Pex, Mirko Torsellini, Bas Lemmers, Arno Kozlinski, then the 2 CRGs, Andrea Dale, David Fore. The Dino kart of Henry Coco and Andreas Bachmann leads Jonathan Ternon. There's Abbas, number 11, the French driver for Team Sodi Kart. Camponeski, if he's going to make a move, I don't suggest it's going to be until late in the race. He's certainly got the speed. In fact, he's all over the back of Ardigo. Dare I suggest that he's quicker? Look at that, up the inside line. Oh, Marco does not flinch. He did not hesitate to just pull across and shut the door and says, mate, Flavio, if you're going to pass me, you're going to have to do better than that. Flavio's going to wind up that Vortex Tony kart for one more time. This is half race distance coming up now. Nothing between it. The 2 factory Tony kart racing team drivers had the Birrell art of Jordan Lennox Lamb, but he is nearly 3 seconds further behind. There he is. The Brit has recovered. He's actually now put a bit of a gap on Anthony Abbas, who looks behind him, only to find the Englishman Benjamin Hanley. There's Hayek coming under pressure from Jorit Pex. Looks as though Jorit Pex has actually gone through. Mirko Torsellini in the Ricciardo kart, having a great drive. He's comfortably in the top 10, sitting in position number 8. But unfortunately, once again, we've lost the driver all the way from the USA, Gary Carlton. The Californian is a retirement. Back with your leaders. Nothing's changed. Marco Ardigo continues to lead this race, and Flavio's gone nowhere. The gap to Lennox Lamb's actually come down a little bit. It's 2 seconds, which is an enormous distance on this 1.7 kilometre circuit. We can't even see Jordan until right now. He's half the length of the main straight behind, but he's put a little bit of a gap between himself and Abbas. Look at Flavio down through the gearbox. Ardigo does likewise, hammering down from 6th to 4th. 3rd on this, the slowest corner of the track before accelerating up. Flavio signals to Marco, get on with it. Don't let us dice among ourselves and let Jordan back into the fight. Who knows how much closer this race would have been if Jordan did not have that mysterious problem about 5 laps ago. He's back up to speed. He's circulating well. He just hit the fastest lap of the race 2 tours ago. Up through the gearbox. Lets the kart drift a little bit wide, deliberately to try and get the high line, the high run. Flavio a little bit tighter. He's now in the slipstream. This is the final corner of the circuit as they complete lap number 11. Right in the slipstream at 100 miles an hour. Down through the gearbox, both of these TK drivers go. He's really close to the back of him. In fact, he's up the inside. Flavio Camponeschi. Oh, what a move. Marco Ardigo in second spot. Flavio Camponeschi waited. You saw it happen. He set the fastest lap and then made his move on his world champion teammate. Nicely done. Let's see if Ardigo can respond. He's right on the tail of the number 14 Vortex-powered Tony Kart. The gap to Lennox Lamb as we took a look at the replay. Up the inside under brakes. He lined him up for about 2 or 3 laps. Was very, very late. Ardigo, look at the car buck and jump as he puts the power down. Almost 50 horsepower, but now the shoe's on the other foot. Ardigo is in the slipstream. Let's see if he can respond. Jordan Lennox Lamb's getting closer. The gap is now down to 1.8 seconds to the Birrell Art driver, the Englishman, in position number 3. Can he catch the 2 Italians? Well, if we thought that Flavio Camponeschi would pull away with this race after making his move, Marco Ardigo is going to have something to say about it. He's not letting his teammate go anywhere. Remember, Flavio won the first round of the series at the foot of the historic volcano that is Mount Vesuvius, Naples, Italy, just over a month ago. Up through the gearbox. Lennox Lamb in the background. He's only got 5.5 laps to catch him. Let alone get past Ardigo. That's going to be another thing. They finished 1 and 3 in the opening round. Now they're on track for an OTK 1 and 2. Across the line, the gap was 0.2 of a second between the leaders, and it stays the same back to Jordan Lennox Lamb. Bachmann and Lundberg go through, as does Thomas Toyula, the Finnish driver in the Mad Croc. Mirko Torsolini's up to 7th now, as Patrick Hayek has drifted back to position number 9. Unfortunately, we've lost the reigning European champion Rek Dreesen, and I'd suggest that's just about the end of the Belgians' European title defence. He's going to be classified down in position number 19. Still, we'll see Rick back for the World Championships at Le Mans, France, September 13. But before that, we have to decide who's going to be European champion for this year. Flavio Camponeschi won the opening round, leads the series. Ardigo was 3rd. Ben Hanley was 2nd in Sarno. The Englishman is back in 4th. He now heads the Frenchman Anthony Abbas. Arnaud Kozlinski's got up to position 11, but can't get any higher than that, because in front of Kozlinski is the reigning European KZ2 champion, the CRG driver Andrea Dalle. 3.5 laps remain. Flavio Camponeschi, Marco Ardigo. The class of the field, not only this weekend, but over the last 12 or 18 months. Who can put the challenge to the green team? The World Championship will be decided on French soil this year. Will that have any sort of effect? There goes Jordan Lennox Lamb, Ben Hanley, Anthony Abbas, Jorrit Pex, brilliantly driven by the Dutchman. The intrepid driver is now up into position number 6. Simon Puhaka not having a good day, the CRG driver who won 2 rounds of the WSK Supermaster Series earlier in the year, but he sits outside the top 15. Two and a half laps remaining. Lennox Lamb, how much closer would this race have been if he didn't have that problem on about lap 4 or 5? He was right on the tail of Camponeschi, who at the time was in 2nd. The green team go down through the gearbox, accelerating hard up to the furthest point of the circuit. There goes Lennox Lamb, just flashing through. Ardigo about 2 or 3 kart lengths behind his teammate. Flavio Camponeschi desperate to take out the European Championship in 2015. Marco Ardigo has already got 3 World Championships to his name. Henley goes through, then it's a Bass, Pex, Lammers, Torsellini, Hayek, Andrea Dalle and Arno Kozlinski cannot get any higher than 11th after not finishing the pre-final this morning. Well, that's interesting. The bottom left of your screen, Ben Henley, the Englishman in the Mad Croc Cart. He set the fastest lap of the race. Of course, Benjamin won the first round of the European KF non-gearbox championships in the sunshine of Portimao, Portugal, just 2 weeks ago. He finished second in the opening round of this series in Naples. He was the driver to split the Tony Kart domination in Napoli. There goes Bas Lemmers in the bottle green Formula K kart. Bloomberg, Thomas Tuyula. Simon Puhaka at the tail of the field, not having a good run. This is the final lap though, and look at that. Marco Ardigo has lost touch just a little bit. He closes up under brakes. His Tony Kart teammate is 3 kart lengths ahead of him. I can't see him catching him. Do we have a new heir to the throne? Rick Driesen is out. He will not defend his European Championship title in 2015. Flavio Camponeschi won the opening round in Naples. He's on track to make it 2 from 2. His teammate Marco Ardigo cannot respond. He's 3 kart lengths back. I don't think he can do it. Up through the gearbox, the final corners for the final time. This is the final turn now. The Italian Flavio Camponeschi will take the checkered flag. He wins again in Zuera, Spain. Ardigo second, Jordan Lennox Lamb, a great drive to take the bottom step of the podium. Have we just seen a new heir to the throne, Flavio Camponeschi? He is your winner here in Zaragoza, Spain. 2 round win starts and 2 round wins. Lennox Lamb, great result. 3rd position for Birol Art. Flavio, the driver from the eternal city of Rome. He's won from Ardigo, Lennox Lamb, Henley and Abbas, the Frenchman, coming home in position number 5. There's the official results for you. In the end, he did it by 0.3 of a second. Jordan Lennox Lamb, we can only wonder what would have happened if he didn't have that problem earlier on in the race. He finished 2.2 seconds behind Ardigo. Then it was Henley, Abbas. Great drive by Jory Pex. The Dutchman coming home 6th ahead of his countryman Bas Lemmers. Mirko Torsellini was 8th ahead of Patrick Hayek. And Arno Kozlinski did scrape into the top 10 at the race end. Well, we asked the question before the start of the race, who can break the Tony Kart domination? The answer quite simply is no one. Camponeschi makes it an all green 1 and 2. They started 1 and 2 on the grid. They raced 1 and 2. Jordan Lennox Lamb drove the wheels off that Birol Art kart. Full credit to the Englishman. He will stand on the 3rd step of the podium. Let's look at the start. Flavio Camponeschi rockets off the line. Ardigo in 2nd spot. Abbas initially made a great start, but was pushed wide right about there. I don't mean body contact pushed wide, but just the traffic. Here was Lennox Lamb as Camponeschi had that thing all locked up. Jordan Lennox Lamb with that mysterious problem early on. That's when Ardigo went through to take the lead. Camponeschi, he had 1 go. Marco Ardigo shut the door and said, you're going to have to do better than that. And indeed he did. The driver from Rome, Flavio Camponeschi, he won the opening round in Naples. He's won the 2nd round here. And he was looking good for a European Championship in 2015. He will lead the series going into Genk, Belgium. Flavio Camponeschi takes the checkered flag. He wins in Zaragoza, Spain. Ardigo 2nd. Jordan Lennox Lamb, well done to the Brit. Jordan takes 3rd. Stay with us. All the podium presentations coming your way in just a few moments' time. This is the 2nd round, the European Kart Racing Championships from Zuera, Zaragoza in Spain.
want them up?
Oh, the dignitary. Yeah, sorry, that was my mistake. I was listening to who's coming for the team. Sorry. Yes. Sorry, do you mind, Randolph? I just want to go through this if I can.
Yeah, you have the three drivers.
Yeah, I know.
And also the team manager.
Alberto. That's what we were. Oh, Alberto. Until Etchegoven. Until Etchegoven. Jesus Perez Santander. Carlos Gil. Jesus Perez Santander. Carlos Gil. Carlos Gil. Japanese. Until Etchegoyen. Oh, the order, Randolph. Bye. Ladies and gentlemen, what a race we have witnessed. The second round of the European Kart Racing Championships. Our podium for KZ. Let's welcome third place all the way from Great Britain, Jordan Lennox Lamb. Second place, the reigning world champion, Marco Ardigo. He won in Naples. He's leading the series. He's made it 2 out of 2. Flavio Camponeschi. And we also welcome to the podium, representing the winning manufacturer Tony Kart, Alberto Villino. As we stand by for the national anthem of Italy. Ladies and gentlemen, your podium, the second round of the European Championships, Jordan Lennox Lamb, Marco Ardigo, and the winner, Flavio Camponeschi. To present the trophy to the third place driver, it is Mr. Carlos Gil, representing el Circuito Internazionale de Zuera. Mr. Jesus Perez Santander, the Vice President of the Aragon Motorsport Federation, presents the trophy to Marco Ardigo. And Mr. Angel Etchegoyen of the Spanish Motorsport Federation, the Vice President, to present the trophy to your winner. Let's hear it one more time to Flavio Camponeschi. Mr. Etchegoyen will also present the trophy to the winning manufacturer, representing Tony Kart, Mr. Alberto Villino. As the flowers are presented to the drivers. We'll move in for a quick word here. Look at our podium. In third place, Jordan Lennox-Lamb. Great drive, but Jordan, mate, I have to ask you, what happened when you lost time on about lap 5?
I had a bit of a problem in the middle of the race, but I managed to resolve it straight away and get back on and have a gap again, which luckily made me have a nice chilled race.
Congratulations, Jordan. Third step on the podium. It's not a bad result. Second place, Marco Ardigo. Quasi, you nearly got him. You nearly got him.
Yeah, it's very good race, really, really strong. In the start is really strong because I know I need to win, and in the end I try in every lap in the end to try to win, but Flavio today is much stronger.
We'll move on to our winner, Flavio Camponeschi. He won in Sarno. 2 volte hai vinto. Twice you have won. Che bella partenza. What a great start. 2 from 2. You've won again here in Spain. You lead the championship.
Sì, è stata una gara molto combattuta fino all'ultimo giro con Marco. Sapevo che me la giocavo con lui e alla fine ho vinto io. Ne avevo qualcosina di più e comunque è stata molto bella come gara e mi sono divertito.
Thank you, Flavio. Flavio just saying it was a very difficult race. He had a good fight with Marco. Happy to be on the top step of the podium leading the championship. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining us. From here, the European KF Championships moves to PFI in England. That's on June 21. The KF Junior class also before the KZ and KZ2 Championship concludes Genk, Belgium, July 12. So on behalf of everyone from the CIK, FIA, all the team at WSK Promotion, we'll see you next time for the European Kart Racing Championships.